आएं जी प्लीज़ हैव अ सीट ज़ीशान साहब बैठें तशरीफ़ रखें मेक योर सेल्फ कम्फर्टेबल एंड योर सब्जेक्ट्स फॉर पॉल साइंस साइकोलॉजी एंड पंजाबी ठीक है सो लेट मी स्टार्ट इट हैज़ बीन एन इशू विद पाकिस्तान फॉर एग्जाम्पल आई गिव यू एन एग्जाम्पल द इशूज़ ऑफ state versus union in United States of America were resolved at the beginning of 19th century.
Yes, sir.
Would you know who was the person who did it? कोई idea?
I'm sorry, sir. I'm
Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson. Okay, उसने 2-4 साल के अंदर मतलब 76 में आज़ाद हुआ, 89 में ही आए, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बना इनका, 11-12 साल में उसने मसला हल कर दिया. As far as Pakistan's provincial versus federation issues are concerned, they are still to some extent not resolved completely. What is your take on it? What could be the contributing factors to this very serious state of affair? Because if India ने भी कर लिए हैं, USA ने भी कर लिए हैं, everyone has done it. We have not been able to do it. अभी तक बलूचिस्तान कहता है जी मुझे हकूक़ नहीं मिलते, सिंध वाले अपनी अलग बात करते हैं, KPK के अलग इशूज़ हैं. In nutshell, in a very maybe matter of a minute, you tell me the brief reasons for this. Question समझ में आ गया आपके?
Yes, sir.
This divide between the center and the provinces.
Yes, sir.
Why it is still continuing in Pakistan?
Sir, actually there's been a tug of war between the federal government and the provincial governments. Both want to take control in their own hands. The federal government is reluctant to let go of the power, whereas provinces are demanding for the provincial autonomy. However, we see that there has been a great development in this particular context in the form of 18th Constitutional Amendment. Sir, under the ambit of 18th Constitutional Amendment, the provincial autonomy has been strengthened. And the solution of this problem actually lies in giving the provinces their power instead of taking away from them and instead of controlling the provinces from the center. It has been a demand of Pakistan even before the pre-partition during the Pakistan movement. We can take example of Lahore Resolution. Quaid-e-Azam even said that we do believe in provincial autonomy. Only certain subjects would lie with the central government. As far as 18th Amendment is concerned, it is a landmark amendment in giving the provinces their due share, and it would eventually lead to the strengthening of the federation and in doing away with certain conflicts between the central government and the provincial government.
Excuse me, sir. Just
Please go ahead, sir.
If the provinces are inefficient, then?
Sir, challenges are everywhere. Provincial autonomy cannot be taken back under the garb of inefficiency or mismanagement.
I say that in Pakistan, all 4 provinces are inefficient. Then, what is your point?
Sir, I for one believe...
In terms of 18th Amendment.
Sir, if they would be given a chance, gradually, with the passage of time, they would become efficient. Obviously, they would not become efficient overnight. The central government would play a role in taking baby steps, in providing oversight, in helping the provincial governments wherever they do require, but it cannot be snatched under the garb of inefficiency.
He was not getting my point. I was talking about inefficiency in collection of taxes and provincial...
Sir, the solution lies in fiscal federalism.
When you talk about fiscal federalism, what is political economy? Have you heard this term? Political economy.
Sir,
political definition of it. What is political economy?
Sir, I have heard about it, but at the moment I am unable to recall it.
Because this concept started in 17th century,
Alright.
where the sum of the powers from the tyrant kings was taken out, and the people at the lower tiers. It all started actually in 13th century with Magna Carta. Any idea about Magna Carta?
So Magna Carta literally translates into the Great Charter. Okay. It was done by the King John in the year 1216. And
15.
By King John.
And what was the result of this charter?
Sir, some of the powers were given away. It were taken away from the king to
and
the
given
barons.
to barons.
To the barons.
देखो यही बात मैं करना चाहता हूँ.
Yes, sir, to the barons.
Making you arrive at this conclusion. Yes. It was to the barons, and barons were also elites.
Yes, sir.
Second to maybe third to the king, they were also the elitist.
Yes, sir.
The power transferred from the kings,
yes,
who were despotic kings,
to
the common people started somewhere in 18th century, 17th century by 3 great social contract theorists. नाम बताओ.
Sir, the social contractual theorists include Thomas Hobbes, John Locke and Jean-Jacques Rousseau.
बिल्कुल ठीक है. अब मेरा जो क्वेश्चन आ रहा है, व्हाट वाज डिवाइन राइट्स ऑफ किंग?
Divine rights of king actually believed that kings owe their kingship by the divine power, and since
डिवाइन पावर बाय द गॉड.
by the God,
जी.
and since it is something given by the God, so they are answerable only to the God and not subject to the masses. So much so they were the own formulators of the law, and they said that law is what the king says. Putting it in their terms, that law resides in the breast of the kings. Even till date, the British monarchy, the queen, the former queen, and the incumbent king, they say that by the glory of the God. So much so, they were despotic to such an extent that they believed that a wicked king and a despotic king is actually the punishment which is given by the God, for because the people are to be blamed.
बिल्कुल, you are absolutely correct. Now tell me few names of despotic of divine power king. Examples real life में.
In contemporary times,
हिस्ट्री में, रियल लाइफ मतलब हिस्ट्री में किधर भी जो जिन्होंने ये बिल्कुल आखिरी जो आपने अभी डेफिनेशन बताई है ना, दे प्रैक्टिस इट टू द हिल्ट. दे एक्चुअली वर द प्रोटोटाइप ऑफ डिवाइन राइट्स ऑफ किंग. मतलब उनको एक की तस्वीर हटाओ, डिवाइन राइट की दिखा दो तो वो एक ही चीज़ थे. सो दैट एनी एग्जांपल्स इन दिस?
sure, I would give you the examples. In the United Kingdom, these included James I, Charles I. James I even wrote a book on it.
Just names.
James I, Charles I, they were very despotic. Coming to the France, it included Louis XIV.
Was he known as? What was he known as? Louis XIV is correct.
What was he called? The Sun King. And he famously said, "I am the state. El itat sas."
चलो ये हो गया. India, our own country.
Narendra Modi is a fascist.
No, तो खैर किंग है नहीं ना. टेक्निकली मैं रियल किंग की बात हो रही है, जो अपने आप को शेडो ऑफ द गॉड कहता था.
I'm sorry sir, I'm unable to recall.
नहीं, you will be able to recall. There is no question about it. आपको 100% रिकॉल करोगे. जिले इलाही.
जिले इलाही was Akbar the Great.
तो को यही तो मैं पूछ रहा हूँ.
जिले इलाही, shadow of God.
Okay. What is the judicial structure of Pakistan?
Sir, the judicial structure of Pakistan can be discussed at three levels. At the district level, this includes the district courts and the session courts. At the provincial level, it includes High Court, and at the federal level, it includes the Supreme Court of Pakistan.
And what is the role of Judicial Council then? Supreme Judicial Council.
Sir, Supreme Judicial Council is a regulatory body which exercises oversight functions on the superior judiciary. If any senior poignant judge or any judge is convicted of the misconduct or undermining his oath, then Supreme Judicial reference can be filed in the Supreme Judicial Council. So it is a regulatory body.
Who is the author of Constitutional History of Pakistan?
Hamid Khan is the author of Constitutional and Political History of Pakistan.
What is the other book? He has authored two books.
Sir, there is this book on constitutional law as well, comparative politics.
Okay. How many types of writs are there?
Sir, under the Article 199 of the Constitution, there are 5 writs mentioned. These include writ of habeas corpus, writ of quo warranto, writ of certiorari, writ of mandamus, and a writ of prohibition. Sir, in the famous Maulvi Tamizuddin Khan case, writ of quo warranto and a writ of mandamus were issued.
How many articles were amended in 18th Amendment?
Sir, as many as 104 articles were amended under the 18th Constitutional Amendment, so much so that it was called a mini constitution in itself.
How many constitutions were introduced in Pakistan in total?
So there have been, in Pakistan,
Yes.
Sir, there have been 3 constitutions till date. Constitution of 1956, which was given by Prime Minister Chaudhry Muhammad Ali, the Constitution of 1962, which was given by Ayub Khan, and the Constitution of 1973, which was given by Zulfikar Ali Bhutto.
Okay. One of your subject is Punjabi. Faiz has written certain Punjabi poems. Can you narrate them?
Sir, Faiz has written only one Punjabi poem, and that is called Rabba Sachya, and I would narrate it for you. He says, Rabba Sachya tu te akhya si, ਜਾਓ ਬੰਦਿਆ ਜਗ ਦਾ ਸ਼ਾਹ ਏ ਤੂੰ, ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਨੇਮਤਾਂ ਤੇਰੀਆਂ ਦੌਲਤਾਂ ਨੇ, ਸਾਡਾ ਨੈਬ ਤੇ ਆਲੀ ਜਾ ਏ ਤੂੰ, ਇਸ ਲਾਰੇ ਤੇ ਟੋਰ ਰੱਬ ਸਾਈਆਂ, ਇਸ ਨਮਾਨੇ ਤੇ ਕੀ ਬੀਤੀਆਂ ਨੇ, ਉਹ ਕਦੀ ਸਾਰ ਵੀ ਲਈ ਰੱਬ ਸਾਈਆਂ, ਤੇਰੇ ਸ਼ਾਹ ਨਾਲ ਜਗ ਕੀ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਨੇ, ਕਿਤੇ ਧੌਂਸ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਦੀ ਏ, ਕਿਤੇ ਧਾਂਦਲੀ ਮਾਲ ਪਟਵਾਰ ਦੀ ਏ, ਐਵੇਂ ਹੱਡਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਲਪੇ ਜਾਂ ਮੇਰੀ, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਫਾਹ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੂੰਝ ਕੁਰਲਾਮ ਦੀ ਏ। ਚੰਗਾ ਸ਼ਾਹ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਈ ਰੱਬ ਸਾਈਆਂ, ਜੁੱਤੇ ਖਾਂਦਿਆਂ ਵਾਰ ਨਾਮ ਦੀ ਏ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਸ਼ਾਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਰੱਬ ਮੇਰੇ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਸ਼ਾਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਰੱਬ ਮੇਰੇ, ਮੈਂ ਤੇ ਇੱਜ਼ਤ ਦਾ ਟੁੱਕਰ ਮੰਗਣਾ ਹਾਂ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤਾਂਗ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਹਿਲਾਂ ਮਾੜਿਆਂ ਦੀ, ਮੈਂ ਤੇ ਜਿਉਣੇ ਦੀ ਨੁੱਕਰ ਮੰਗਣਾ ਹਾਂ। ਮੇਰੀਆਂ ਮੰਨੇ ਤੇ ਤੇਰੀਆਂ ਮੈਂ
thank you.
पूरा यार दीवानी याद किया हुआ है तुमने, बिल्कुल।
Okay, tell me the major difference between classical Punjabi poetry and the modern Punjabi poetry.
So the fundamental difference between the classical poetry and poets and the modern poets, it includes their subject matter, where the classical poets put a great emphasis on classical things such as remembering God, remembering Akhirat and preparing for it. The main thesis of the modern poets is on Hukukul Ibad or the contemporary times. It was a great variety of topics. For example,
चलो उर्दू में आते हैं। मुझे असलूब का फ़र्क बताएं, मुझे लैंग्वेज का फ़र्क बताएं।
Sir, as far as
क्लासिकल पोइट्री के ऊपर इन्फ्लुएंस कौन सी लैंग्वेजेस का है और मॉडर्न जो पंजाबी है उसकी क्या हैत है?
Sir, the classical poetry was influenced by the languages such as Sanskrit and Persian, whereas the modern poetry is influenced by other languages as well, such as Urdu.
Any role of Gurmukhi?
Yes, sir. Gomukhi influenced
किस में
classical
नज़र
poetry.
आती, किस क्लासिकल पोइट में नज़र आती?
Sir, if you please allow me to take a guess.
Just a guess.
Sir, Baba Farid.
Yes, Baba Farid to some extent also. वो तमाम एरियाज़ जो कि बॉर्डर के नज़दीक है, प्रेजेंट बॉर्डर के नज़दीक है, वहाँ के रहने वाले पोर्ट्स के अंदर भी नज़र आती है। इस पर सर्च कर लें।
I stand corrected, sir.
ओके, उसके बाद व्हाट इज़ द कंसेप्ट ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी इन इस्लाम?
Sir, contrary to the popular perception, Islam is
पहले सबसे पहले ये बात करेंगे कि क्या कुरान की कोई आयत ऐसी है जो आपको लीड करती है टू द डेमोक्रेटिक कंसेप्ट?
Yes, sir. There is actually one, and there are actually a couple of Quranic
बताइए।
ayats on it. Sir, Holy Quran says, "Washawirhum fil amr," and consult them in every matter. At another point, it says, "Wa amruhum baina shuruhum." Their mutual matters, they got decision in consultation with one another. Sir, consultation, inclusive participation, public participation, it is one of the hallmarks of the democracy. In a democracy, the government is not a tyrant, rather it believes in inclusion politics and not in exclusionary politics. So when Islam says that consult with your fellow peers whenever you are to take a certain and significant decision, Islam is a democracy.
Okay, this was the basic principle, that is consultation. अब आप कंक्लूजन बताएं इसका कि हमारे पास इन प्रैक्टिसेस की मौजूदगी में कोई ऐसा बेसिक प्रिंसिपल आजकल के दौर में हम तय कर सकते हैं कि हम जमहूरियत को खुलफाए राशिदीन के दौर में सेटल्ड हुए हुए प्रिंसिपल्स के बेस के ऊपर कौन सा प्रिंसिपल हमें अडॉप्ट करना चाहिए? एक बड़ा, या जनरल इलेक्शन करा लें आप मुसलमानों का,
एक्सपेंड कर लें,
या आप जनाब 6 बंदे बुला लें, तो आप क्या करेंगे आप?
Sir,
अगर मैंने इस्लामी जमहूरियत कायम करनी है,
आप अपनी बताइए, योर टेक वुड बी एज अभी इट्स नॉट नेसेसरी कि हमारी टेक से आप एग्री करें, व्हाटएवर योर टेक इज यू कैन है। इन चारों में से कौन सा सिस्टम सबसे बेहतर था? ये 4 अलग अलग सिस्टम्स बताए गए हैं ना आपको।
Sir, Council of 6 was a better system.
अच्छा।
Moreover, sir,
Common
Islam
wisdom.
also believed that it should not merely because Islam's concept of democracy is slightly different from present system of democracy. Islam also believes in the selection of the best person. The democracy which is practiced in nowadays, it may not bring it's a populist democracy, by the way, it's a demagoguery. As Allama Iqbal also says,
ठीक है बेटा, वी गॉट इट। मैं आपको सिर्फ इसको एक्सपेंड कर देता हूँ थोड़ा सा। 6 का जो कॉन्सेप्ट था ना, दैट कुड बी एक्सपेंडेड आल्सो। ये कहते हैं
yes sir,
60,000 हो जाए, 6 मिलियन हो जाए, 60 मिलियन हो जाए, तो वो प्रिंसिपल वही है। नंबर डजंट मैटर, नंबर कुड बी, एंड दोस पीपल शुड बी आल्सो तज़किया शऊर पर पूरे उतरते हो और सादिकुल अमीन के कॉन्सेप्ट पर भी पूरे उतरते हो।
Exactly.
तो फिर देन दे विल बी मेकिंग अ गुड चॉइस। दे एक्चुअली डिड मेक अ वेरी गुड चॉइस।
yes sir, yes.
यू आर लास्ट क्वेश्चन
सर
लास्ट ही है ना सर? Okay, no problem. Okay,
You're
okay.
done.
Last question. Classification of antibiotics. First generation, second generation, third, and the present one.
So there are 4 generations of antibiotics.
Okay. The first is
So the first includes penicillins, and these include penicillin V, penicillin G, ampicillin.
ठीक है, सही है,
ampicillin.
बस penicillin is good
Second
enough,
is I'm unable to recall it at present. Third one is cephalosporins, and fourth one is fluoroquinolones.
okay.
ठीक सर.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you बेटा very much.
Thank
It's
you
an
so much.
excellent thing और इंशाल्लाह wish you well for your further pursuits in life.
Thank you,
ठीक है?
sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Take
much.
care. Take care.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz, sir.